On this episode of Boundary Breakers, I sit down with KP Hari. KP is an entrepreneur that has an amazing story. It's one of the reasons why I love doing this podcast. KP grew up in rural India, very poor, no running water, no electricity. Ended up getting his education, coming to the US, co-founding a software business that now has over 3,000 employees and offices all over the world. The humility and the wisdom that KP demonstrates is inspiring, and I really think you're going to enjoy hearing his story. Boundary Breakers is brought to you by Carter & Clark. Said KP, can you tell us just a little bit about your background, where you grew up, sort of the environment, family maybe? Just give us a flavor of where you came from.
Sure. See, I was born in a very small village back in India. My parents were real poor day-to-day wage workers. That is how I was born, and I grew up literally very poor family in a third world country. I am really proud to say that really glad from where I started and where I am today. It was a very long journey, but it's very fruitful looking back. I thank everybody who helped me to get here. So I'm born in 1963. So that was, so a little bit older guy. But my parents were, really passionate about giving us the opportunity to grow as very good human beings with good ethical values. And even though the only thing which was not there was money, but other than that, we were so happy. We had very good family, very good friends and relatives. But it was in a very poor place. That was the only thing. But we were looking back. I really felt that my childhood was really happy days. I remember those days as good days, not as another bad days. The key differentiating factor, I believe, which I got it, or my brothers got it, compared to many other people who grew up around me, was opportunity to get a good education. That is, it was relatively easy to get education, at least till the college days, because the system was really good. We didn't have to have a good load of money to get educated in the school. But still, my parents have to work to put us through school because they have to put food in front of us every day.
Yeah.
There were a lot of my friends, had to stop schooling because they had to go and work to earn their daily bread, So my parents were determined on that one. They kept reassuring us, me and my brothers, that whatever happens, they will make sure that we stay in school and get educated. That was a blessing. It was a real blessing. It is very given, correct, in a place like America, for example. Here, if you want to go to school, it is given that you can go. But it is some other parts of the world, it is not like that. But
I'm so sorry for interrupting, but I think you make a really, really interesting and important point for folks like myself who have grown up in America. I mean, there are a lot of things that we take for granted, right? I mean, we grow up with this sort of frustration that we have to go to school every day, and it's just part of sort of the societal fabric. That's what happens. Help us. Can you paint a picture for us? I mean, first of all, how many brothers did you have? How many siblings did you have?
I have 2 brothers and 1 stepbrother and a stepsister.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, so you mentioned that some of your friends or peers had to, work to help put food on the table for the family. So, I mean, was it, how unusual was it? Help us understand sort of how unusual was it that you guys were able to stay in school and make it to where, continue to get educated versus some of your peers?
It was very common that most of the kids stay in school. And
Okay.
because the best part was that, as I mentioned earlier, schooling was completely free at the time. So there was those were government schools. You don't have to pay even $1 to get to the school. Only thing is that you have to buy books and show up there. They even feed you with a lunch there. So that is a motivation for the kids, from especially from the poor families, to show up to school because they get at least one meal from the school. So, but so in when I was in the elementary school, I remember I tell this story to many people that there was I b- clearly remember there was one dropout from my class, but he was the topper. He used to always come first in all the exams,
Wow. Wow.
and I was the second. I always used to come in the elementary school, but he had to drop out when he was only in the fifth grade. That because
Not
he has to go and work.
not because he wanted to, but because he had to, because he had to help his family.
Exactly, because his father, who used to work, fell sick and he could not work. So he and his sister were in my class, and his sister continued, but she was not excellent as her brother was. But he had to drop out, and he's still a daily wage worker back in India. There's nothing wrong with it, and nothing bad about it. But at least he helped his family to survive through. But I take this example always that only difference between him and me was that my parents were able to support me through education, and his parents were not able to. So look, see how far I came along. If he also got an opportunity, he would have become, way more or better than me today in life. Maybe at least there was a possibility that, correct? So I support some organizations which helps kids to get through their education. It is very important. We had a fundraiser actually last weekend too, raising money to support, kids back in India, putting them through college and school, etc. So I believe that it's a very very inspiring and very motivational thing to do it, because I believe is that saving one kid, putting one kid through education helps the entire family, not only one person. That's the difference I see, correct? Because if you support one person to get through the school, it may save the whole family. Um, that is what happened to me and my brothers. That see, we all went to school and went to college. We all became professionals, and see, now our kids don't have to worry about anything in life. See, at least
Yeah.
see, that's the difference. And
Yeah. Well, good for you. Good for you. That's amazing. So, how much? I mean, do you frequently reflect on your, where you came from and your childhood? Does it still to this day motivate you to push and to work harder? I mean,
I, I,
or are you far enough removed from it? I mean, I'm curious how much of a daily impact that has on your life.
it is it still has very big impact on me and my daily actions, and what I do in life. Um, we still kept that house where we grew up, where there was no electricity, and there is still there is still no running water in that house even today, even in 2025.
Wow.
So it is to remind us that hey, look, that is where. And I take me and my wife, we have two kids, that so we take our kids almost every year or every other year back to India. Whenever we go to India, we take them to that old house and we tell them that, look, that is a corner where I used to sleep, and that is a table where I used to study. So that will have at least some impact
Wow.
on them too, because at least they will. I get it that they did not have to go through the same things which I went through, but still it is it's some influence on even them too. And
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Gosh, that's amazing. So no electricity, no running water. And did your step siblings also live with you when you were in elementary school? Or
they were in the early days, but when I was in the elementary school, my stepsister got married, and she started living separately. And my stepbrother also got married when I was in school. So it was just me and my two other brothers and my parents, my father and mother.
yeah.
So
So at a minimum, there were 5 in that house, though.
yes, yes. And I still remember that my father used to work at least 364 days a year.
Wow.
Just one day he used to take maybe a day or a half day off, because that was like Christmas here. That was a national celebration there. So even we had a small shop which he used to run. That was our daily income. That he has to show up, that so that we get money to buy groceries for that day and
Wow.
put food on our table. So
Gosh, I mean, talk about humble beginnings, right? So
yeah,
from no running water, no electricity to CEO of a global business is pretty.
I'm not the CEO. I'm the CFO of the company.
CFO,
Yes, yeah,
CFO.
yes.
My apologies.
No, yes,
Well, I should have said from humble beginnings to the C-suite,
yes,
right?
yes.
Well, I'm apologize for interrupting your story, but I'd love to. It's just a fascinating story, and I want to hear more of it. So you made it through, elementary school and high school, and then off to college. I presume.
Yes, I got admission to engineering degree, bachelor's degree in engineering. So I went to school and I went to college there. Took some loans and from the banks so that to get through the college, because college education, even though it is free for poor kids, but you have to pay for the housing and food and clothes. So that was so we had to my I still remember my dad used to send me a monthly check to the bank, that see we worked through that and took some loans, and we had a little bit of small parcels of land, small piece of land, which he had to sell it to put us through school. But he was very determined that somehow
Wow.
he's going to get us to the finish line. So my elder brother became an engineer. The next brother became he graduated. He has a post graduation graduate degree in arts. Then I became an engineer. So all of us started work right after that. In between, we lost our mom when I was in the final semester of the college. She got cancer, and so she passed away when she was only 54 years old. That it was that was an unfortunate thing, I think, in our life, that we didn't we didn't even have money, to treat her well. So only the government hospitals where we could get her treatment. That was only option, and
Yeah.
she
Gosh.
went through that, and she died maybe after about a year after she was diagnosed with cancer. Uh,
Gosh. I'm so sorry to hear that.
yeah, but she could see that we are in the finish line. My elder brother finished it. She started work. And see, once one guy got out of college, he started work. Then it's a game changer. Correct? From that day on,
Yeah.
it changes the whole life. So we all of us started working. Then my dad just continued to work for another about 10 more years because he did not know what to do
Yeah,
after
it gets
retirement.
in your bones, right? Gets
Mm.
in your bones is,
Yes,
I imagine, if he's working 364 days a year, right?
yes, yeah, yes. So he retired in 94, and 95 he passed away. At the time, he was 85 years old. He had a very good life. He has seen everything. So he has seen the whole uh, fruitful life of his kids. So all of us did reasonably very
But he,
well.
well, that's great. But he worked till he was 84 and then was
Yes,
retired for a year. And then,
yes,
wow,
yeah. I think that he should have
wow,
continued to work. Maybe he should have he could have lived for a few more years. But
wow,
yeah,
that's unreal. Well, I bet he was one proud father.
yes, absolutely. He was so happy at the end that he always. But even in the early days, also that he was a very happy person. He never ever complained about anything in life. I I have not seen him complain about even one thing, not even once.
Wow.
Only thing he just kept on saying that, look, hey, you guys study well. That's the only thing. That's the only way to get out of this situation is that, education. You have to study. He kept on pounding
God.
on that. And
Well, good for him. Well, I love the opportunity to hear and share stories like yours because I personally feel like one of the biggest obstacles or challenges that, our country faces, or call it our society in the Western world, is this sort of complacency because we don't understand. I mean, a lot of us that have grown up without want or need, you know, it, it allows sort of the mind to wander into all these other crazy things that seem important. But, for folks like you that come from such humble beginnings, is it's just really difficult to have the type of appreciation that I think somebody like you has for money in general and particularly for wealth. And without folks like you, I think it could be easy to sort of spin off the axis, worrying about, if everything's handed to you, you sort of start worrying about things that are in the grand scheme of things, not really important to somebody that's looking to figure out how they're going to get food on their table that afternoon.
yeah, but
And so,
see, I keep on telling my friends here who are from America. I always tell them that go visit a third world country so that you will have a real appreciation of what we think what we are getting today. We 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 take it for granted. Those we think we treat those as our fundamental rights here. Those are actually, it is not given in some other parts of the world. So I also
yeah,
keep telling that we always say that God bless America, correct? I always tell that God has already blessed America. It is a truly blessed country. If you look around, there's
yeah,
abundance of resources and opportunities that you
yeah,
just need to put your effort, and you can get. That is not the case when you see the some other parts of the world. So I request them that I take a lot of my clients back to India.
oh, really?
Yeah, so we have an office in India. We have few offices in India. So I take them to a couple of our offices, meet with our employees there, and I take them to some sightseeing trips and all those things, so that I'm telling you, once they see that part of the world, they it opens their eyes and ears, and they really, it has got impact to their thought process. And,
I
yeah.
bet. I bet. No, that's beautiful. So, all right. So you got an engineering degree, and then help fill in the story from there.
So after I graduated from engineering, and I moved to a bigger city, Mumbai, for work because there were not many jobs in my hometown. So So I decided that, if I stay there, it is not going to be that easy to find a job. So took the train, went to Mumbai looking for a job,
Wow.
stayed with few friends, and got a first job in a chemical factory. Worked for a few months, and then I thought that, look, and I want to do some teaching, because I enjoyed that profession. So I wanted to teach some students. So I joined Bombay University as a professor. At the time, it was only undergrad was needed to become a professor, because there was so much shortage of professors at the time. Then came back to the college where I was teaching. I taught there for a couple of more years. Then changed it to software engineering. So I started became a software developer at the time in '92. Then I was working in Mumbai
Wow. Okay.
in an IT company whose headquarters was here in Orange County, Southern California. So in '94, they processed my work visa and transferred me from India to America. So '94, I
Wow.
moved here, worked for them, then worked for a few months, saved up some money, then brought my family from India. My wife at the time, say I married in '92, so I had a kid in '93 was my first son was born. So '94 they joined me. After 6 months. I worked and saved up money for their air ticket and to buy a used car and take a one-bedroom apartment here in
Wow.
Orange County. So they joined me in '94. It was a happy family. Then '96 we have our second son. He was born here in Orange County. So we have two boys. So both of them are older now. Both of them are working. So just me and my wife, empty nesters here in
Wow.
California. So I used to work for a few companies. I worked for that consulting company from '94 all the way till 2001. 2001, I took the job with the H&R Block, the tax preparation company. So we developed their online tax product and several other systems for Block. Then
Okay.
2003-4 time, see, I started Speridian Technologies with one of my friend. He's a good family friend. We used to work together since 1995. So we knew each other since then. So 2003,
Okay.
he started the company, and then I joined as a partner in the company. So that is why,
Okay.
see, he is the founder and I am the co-founder, because when I joined, the company
Okay.
was not there and nothing was there. So we built the company from there on, 2003-4 time, little by little, inch by inch. Uh,
Yeah. 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 So tell us, what was the vision? So back then, when your good friend originally started the company, what was the business plan? What was the vision for what was he looking to build?
so,
Or you guys, what were you looking to
yes,
build?
so he was also a software engineer. I was also a software engineer. So that is the only thing which we know was IT software development. So our vision was just provide good IT consulting services to our clients. Both of us were doing
Okay.
consulting for last several years. He used to work for IBM. I used to work for H&R Block. So we knew that what clients and companies are looking for from an IT consultant. We knew that we lived that life for several years. We knew that we can provide very good value, very good service to the clients. So that was our vision. We did not know when we started it how big it can get to, but when we started the business, initially it was only few $100,000 revenue after 2 years. Then when we hit the $1 million revenue, we could see that there is a huge potential to make this as a multi-million-dollar company. So
Yeah.
So we kept, I was telling one of our um, partner companies that we always kept when we were in $100,000, then we set the target as $1 million. When we were close to getting a million, we set it as $10 million. When we were getting closer to 10, we changed it to 50 million, then 100 million, like that. We just kept going. um, so
Yeah.
my partner, he's a real aggressive pusher, and he
Okay.
he keeps push us to get there. And so I'm more into relationships, and
So from 2003, so you guys now have over 1,000 employees, right?
we have two companies, and between both the companies we have about 3,500 employees. um
Oh, wow.
yeah, 3,500 employees, and we have
And
operations in 11 countries now. So we are always looking for new opportunities. And
yeah,
I
that's
think in
unbelievable.
yeah, and this was, I think, the best things see we have done was that me and him were running the company for the first several years, because we could not afford to bring in the next big management team and all those. So 2010, 11, that was the year when we switched to the next level. We started thinking that, look, hey, we are into double-digit $1 million companies. It's not just a $1 or $2 million company. So what we did is that we hired the next level of management. I think that was a game changer, which we did, because it is not just me and him running the company. Now we have the next level of management. See, and then we made several of them as partners in the company. So they all have a vested interest in the company. It is not just working for
Right.
somebody. They are working for themselves too. Then one person took over as our Asia Pac head of Asia Pac operations. So he grew that region. Then we hired our current CEO. He was a client of ours. Then we hired him as the COO. Then he became the CEO. Several years back. So now he's the one who runs the technology division, the Speridian Technologies. He's the CEO. So I run the finance, the CFO. But
Okay.
I play different roles. Being the one of the founders of the companies, because see, I have an engineering background. Then I grew into finance as a CFO, um, because there was no other accountant. So I started sending out the invoices. Then I did not know much about finance. Then I learned it on the way, and
Wow.
then we have hired a CPA and an accounting firm to help us with the accounts. That is how we grew into. Since because of my software engineering background, and because of my development experience, it helps me to correlate the projects and what the clients are telling, not just from the number perspective, but what is from the system perspective, what the software which they are looking for, what is the goal of what they are trying to do. So it helps
Yeah.
me to correlate those things.
Right. That's interesting. That's really interesting. Well, look, as everybody knows, most startup businesses fail, right? And the ones that don't fail very rarely get above $1 million in revenue, much less 5, 10 million in revenue. What did you guys do that helped this business grow to a worldwide company with 3,500 employees in 11 countries?
So the couple of key differentiating factors, I believe, that one was that we always put every dollar we generated from the company into the company's growth, rather than the partners taking home all the money which we earn, which we generate in the company. I think that made a huge difference. So all the earnings were put back into the company. That was number one. Number two is that we did not become just typical founders, and we did not sit on the sideline and let somebody else run the company. We were involved in the company's operations. But at the same time, see, we enabled the management, the next level of management, very effectively. That they could take decisions. We could they so it was them working towards the goal and the growth of the company rather than couple of founders. It is all in their brain and it is all their vision. So that
Right.
helped. So I think that see, reinvesting and hiring the next level of management and the commitment of the founders plus all the partners in the growth and success of the company. We 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 definitely see, I'm sure that most of the companies, they believe in this, that they want to do the, what is best for their clients as well as employees, correct? See, because that is those are the two parts of two legs of the whole company. Clients, you have to have clients to have the company, but you have to have employees to deliver what the client wants to. So it is a perfect, it has to be balanced very well. So I'm sure that most of the companies want to do both, best for both these parties. And so we take care of, we do not think that, look, yeah, are we making money? Yes, we are a business. We want to make money. We have to make money to survive. But it is not always just, the profit, profit, profit. It is always what is best for all the parties. And also, we want to make some money.
Sure.
That,
Yeah.
that is that way, see, we kept on telling them, look, if you do a good job, the clients will come to us.
Yeah.
Clients will come back. So that helps us a lot.
Yeah. Um, I think that you make a really important point there, right? Is it if you're just focused on more profit, and you forget about your people and taking care of your people, that can come back to bite you.
Exactly.
And so, are some of the early people that you guys hired still with the company?
There are a lot of them with us even now. The people who are with us for ages, they're all with us. For example, see, 2005 is when we started our India operations. Our 3 or 4 of the first 10 employees we hired in India are still with us. So it's a great achievement, and the team is very loyal to the company, and they will work. They all know that the company will take care of them uh, if they need it. If there is some situation where they have some financial challenges or some personal needs, or whatever situation they have to work through, we support them as a company. As we have the relationship with the people. I think that helps
Yeah.
us a lot.
Yeah. No, good for you. Good for you. Well, so you mentioned that you guys do IT consulting. So for those of us, or for those of the audience that aren't in the world of IT, could you be more specific? Maybe talk about early on what you guys specialized in doing. I mean, when I hear IT consultant, I imagine that you were sort of the outsourced IT department and help with all of the technical resources that the business would need, whether it be email servers and or other sort of service software that they needed, and help support that infrastructure. But am I anywhere close to what you guys
Yes, you got it
do?
half right. See,
Okay.
that is the one major important component of any IT systems for a company. But it is not only servers and their network, but there are software running on those servers, or the software which the company is getting it from somebody else. Some clients develop it. See, for example, so we do about 60 percentage of Speridian's revenue come from public service clients. For example, the state and local government agencies. So, for example, there are several states are our clients. So what we do is that, a state department or a commercial client, like, as maybe a hospital, for example, or an insurance company, for example, or a financial company, or a mortgage company. All these companies need some kind of a software for to do their day-to-day activities. See, for example, a mortgage company, for example, they should have a loan origination system and a loan servicing system. Origination system to give new loans and servicing system to manage and service the loans which they own. Correct? Those are some softwares. So what we do is that is just an example. Some hospitals, see need their hospital management systems, like they need to take patient intake, treat them, and then collect the payments, and also bill the insurance companies, schedule all their appointments, etc., etc. So everything need a software system to do that. So what our job is, we contact our clients, understand what their requirement is, then we help them develop it.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes we do the entire development end to end. Sometimes they may have a group of people, their employees, so we work with them hand in hand to develop the whole software and implement it, then
Okay.
roll it out to them and test it out. Say, for example, so we are doing some work for integrated eligibility, Medicare pay enrollments. So so that is for one of the state agency. To when somebody applies for a Medicare, then there are eligibility rules have to be developed, etc. So those kind of applications we develop. We worked for a big cancer hospital in US to do their lot of their CRM system, that customer relationship management systems, like when patients call them, they can take the calls and schedule the physicians, etc. So recently we did for another hospital for to do a physician portal. That physician portal, what we did was that physicians have to log in. If you ask any doctor in any hospital, they will tell you that they have to log into multiple systems to do their work. For example, they have to come in, log into one system to get their emails. They'll have to log into another system to see which patient they are going to see next. They have to log into another system to do the transcript for their what they have seen the patient with. Then they have a personal email system where his wife and kids are emailing him about where should we go for dinner tonight.
Yeah.
So what we built for that hospital is a unified physician portal where
Wow.
they come in, they get summary from all the systems in one portal. So they can look at it saying that, look, hey, I have, this is my personal email, this is my office email, this is my next patient appointment, this is, my certification due to be renewed by this date. So, we built a entire physician portal, for example. So
Wow.
that eases their work. And because there was a study that the physicians burnout was happening because they were getting bombarded with see the multiple logins and multiple systems access, etc. So so we develop software like that for many agencies, many commercial clients. See, there are some banks are our clients where we develop their origination systems, their collection systems, for example. So we develop software like that. That is what our
Yeah.
job is. So we leverage, we leverage either on-site or distributed development model where, so we can leverage the best resources at a very cost-effective model to the clients. There are some clients, who have restrictions that, no work can be done outside America because, there are some regulations for that. So, for those, say we have offices here in Albuquerque is our headquarters for our corporate office in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We have an office here in Orange County, Southern California, as well as Sacramento, then Albany, New York, Kansas City, Rockwell, Maryland. So we distribute the work between those centers. And after COVID, there are a lot of resources are working from home, remote. So,
Yeah.
so we bring all of them together and, then deliver the systems for the clients.
Yeah. That's
That is what we
fascinating.
do.
So, yeah. So I don't even know if I got it half right. I didn't give you guys much credit. I didn't realize that you were developing, the sort of custom software solutions. It sounds to me like that you guys specialize in scenarios where sort of the off the shelf technology solution may sort of fit, but or isn't a perfect fit or may not work, and in some cases develop a full custom software package for the entity. In other cases, maybe some bolt-ons or some type of software that helps bring other quote unquote off the shelf software together to make them work better, but that you provide a solution that actually fits with what the needs of the entity are, as opposed to just kind of what software is out there. Is that right?
You got it so right on that one. So there
Well,
are, there are some clients need, maybe there are off the shelf products. Like for example, Microsoft emails or Exchange. Nobody is developing an email system, but they are all implementing either Microsoft emails or Google Gmail or whatever systems, correct? So there are off the shelf products like that one. So we take that one, tune it, tailor it, customize it for them, and implement it for them. That is one line of business. That is, we call it as COTS, off the shelf products. So that is one. Some may need some customization. Some, there may not be a good fit for the off the shelf right away. So we have some tools or some pre-built components which we can leverage and assemble all of them together and build it and do that. Some of them, there may nothing be existing, so we'll have to start from scratch. We'll have to do that. And during these last 21 years, what we have done is that we have developed pieces of software which we can leverage, which can be used for any industry. So for example, we have pre-built components like a good architect when you are building house, correct? So they have some of the designs already there, and they can buy some things, and which they don't have to build everything from scratch. They buy,
right.
they get pieces, and they assemble it, and they do that. And also during these last several years, we have built our own product. So we have built several products. One of our flagship product is a case management product, which we have built. So case management is, see, like most of the things in life is a case or a request. Somebody is asking to renew their license, for example, or somebody has got a city is helping them to do some financial assistance to repair their roof, for example. So these are all, different use cases. So we have
Yeah.
developed a case management product which can be configured for all these use cases. So for example, somebody is asking for a roof repair assistance. So that is the case coming in. Then, there
Right.
is a rules engine configured, which can be configured for the vertical or for the use case what we are
Right.
configuring the system for. So there is a rules engine, there is a document management, there is a workflow management, there is a workload management, and integration with telephony and with the phone systems and with the email servers, etc. The whole thing is we have built it, and we are implementing that for several agencies. For example, one of the cities community services
Yeah.
group. What we have, this same case management, we are implementing it for them. Their use case is that citizens call that group. It is a community services group in a state agency. They call them saying that, look, there's a violence in my next neighborhood. They need help. So this community services group, they dispatch police, cops
Ah.
to that. Somebody may say that, look, I saw a homeless man in my neighborhood. He or she may need help. So they send, community services or a social worker to their place. Somebody may need a health help. So they send an ambulance and pick that person up. So it's various use cases, correct? And it's all coming into that. So that is what we just implemented it for one of the cities here in Midwest America. So, so those kind of softwares we develop.
Yeah, that's fascinating. We may have to talk after this because I run a business. We do land surveys all across the country, and there are various, depending upon the municipality where the property is being built, there's various different rules, right? So like what the rules in Palm Beach County, Florida are very different than Austin, Texas, which are very, very different than Virginia. And it sounds like you guys have in your call it a library, if you will, library of tools. Sounds like you guys have some customizable solutions that you could potentially package together. I'd be interested to talk with you about that.
Absolutely.
I'm curious, particularly in the last 4 or 5 years, AI is, you can't walk down the street without hearing somebody talk about AI this and when's it going to become sentient? And I mean, it's just talked about everywhere. I'm curious with Moore's law and how quickly technology, develops, if you will, or improves. Has it just been a whirlwind recently over the last several years with the new discoveries and tools that have come out?
It is, and see that earlier this year, 2024, beginning when ChatGPT, OpenAI, and all those things came out, people were really worried, saying that, look, am I going to get hit tomorrow? But
Yeah.
see, one very good thing happened is that it is easing its way into all our life, whether we notice it very much or not, but it is coming in, correct, and it will become more and more relevant and more useful and more it is going to play its role. But it will, the people's worry earlier this year may not be true, that it may not be that much applicable, that see, nobody is going to get hit tomorrow,
Right.
but all of us will get hit slowly. For example, see, when we type up an email, we all know that the suggestions all comes in. That is all, it's the simple ways of AI. It is not that
Right.
fully AI, but it is coming in. And most of the systems, if you notice, there's a bot, there is a robot comes up and tries to help you with the chat.
Right.
You can ask them the question. It is going to come up and tell that. See, it will, you can start imagining that it is going to take away all the call center jobs, correct? It will get to that point, but is it going to happen tomorrow? May not be.
Right.
But the use of those AI things, use cases, it is real. It is going to come in, and it will slowly transform the way all of us do our work. For example, the software engineer, he or she used to write every line of code in the past. Now not many people are writing the code. They are writing some of it, but they are getting a lot of help. See, for example, you may have read that Google is saying that, look, they are using 25% of the code is generated. It is not written anymore by the developer. Does that mean that 25% of jobs are gone today? May not be.
Yeah.
Maybe 10 to 15% are gone today. But see, it will evolve into that. And so that's my reading on AI. It will be, there are a lot of use cases like that. Lot of use cases, like the bots are the easy ones.
Yeah.
Then the code generation is another one. See, for example, my son works as a business analyst in Speridian, and he told me that, look, that see, he's able to leverage AI to generate some documents, to generate some use cases, or write some test cases, etc., etc. So that will all coming in.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting, your description of, over the last 21 years, you mentioned that as you have developed different software packages or software tools for clients, you've sort of developed this library, and that occasionally a client in maybe a different industry or down the road, you'll be able to use one of those tools. It reminded me, I guess in its simplest form, I mean, AI is sort of just pattern recognition, right? Where once if it knows enough, it can anticipate the next thing, whether it's in a language or not. And it just got me thinking. It's interesting because if I guess in theory, if some type of model could understand and know all of the different software that's ever been written, then there might be some tool where it could anticipate, how to write the next thing or how to solve the need, just like not replacing you guys, but maybe as a tool or enhancement to what you guys do.
Absolutely. And see, that is the fact that I will one day see all the softwares are written out automatically.
Yeah.
um, eh, I don't know whether it is 5 years down the road or 10 years down the road, but we are getting to where we are. A lot of things are getting automated, like it or
Yeah.
not, and I especially see one another big step towards automation is document recognition. Correct. The OCR
Yeah.
technology we used to call it in the old days. It was not very reliable, but see, every day it becomes more and more and more and more and advanced. That every earlier, the handwritten piece of paper could not be read, but see, now you give it in any form or fashion, it is able to read it. And
Yeah.
but see, there can be there are smarter companies, they are developing software around it, that it is not 100% automated. Only the exceptions are pushed to somebody to verify, to view it. That way
Gotcha.
they get the benefit of automation, plus they get some verification that okay, this is right. And they can see both things on side by side, and they can verify it, saying that yes, 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 yes. They can just click on it. That's all they need to do. And that will improve, that will accelerate a lot of work.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're right in the middle of this as a software developer or somebody that's been providing solutions to customers for several decades. And I know no one has a crystal ball, but you got people on one side that say, look, eventually this is going to automate everything, and there's not going to be, humans essentially won't have, there'll be universal basic income. We won't have a need for anything. And then on the other side, you've got folks like, hey, like this is going to be a great tool for us, but I don't know if it will go further than that. What are, I mean, just general in the future, what do you think that, call it just the development of technology, and not just AI, but how do you think technology is going to impact society going forward?
I think that see, in our lifetime, mine and yours, we saw the computers coming in, and people were scared, saying that it was going to take away the jobs. Correct? It did not.
Yep.
It created more jobs, and people just adapted to that. And there is definitely, the technology is going to stay here and is going to help us. And it'll be stupid not to accept the fact, and but it'll be wise to embrace it, and say that, look, that is what is going to help me and my job and my business or my day-to-day work. That is it is going to be. And see, I don't know whether it will happen in the next 5 or 10 years, but it is. If you look every day, every year, the momentum has picked up this year, 2024, compared to last 5 years. And see, because automation came in several years back.
Yeah.
There were softwares for automating a lot of use cases came in, but they were all making their way into the companies. So now with this AI, half of it maybe just a hype. Everybody wants to be in that bandwagon to say that I also
Right.
do AI. If I don't do it, and see, I miss the boat. So that is one.
Yeah.
But most of the companies, what they are doing is that they are automating with some intelligence. So AI merged with automation, that is what is happening. It will slowly tilt towards more and more AI. That is what I think.
Yeah.
And technology is going to stay, and it is going to it'll be good for humankind. And yes, one day robots going to take over the world.
Yeah.
But
Who knows, right?
yes, yeah. So it will
Well,
happen.
I will tell you, it's good to hear somebody that is close to it and is as wise and smart as you. It is reassuring to hear just the words that you said, that it's going to be good for humankind. Because those of us that aren't software developers, I mean, we sort of feel like we're on the outside. We just have to listen. Like, hey, what's this going to do? And so the more people that I hear say that it's going to be a good thing and a positive, the better. So, looking back on, from when you guys started the company until now, I'm curious, what are there any like particular lessons or learnings that jump out at you that you didn't know at the beginning that now, you've been taught as an entrepreneur? I
It's
mean, I'm sure.
very
Let me rephrase. I'm sure there's 3,000, right? But are there any that may kind of sort of jump off the page that that really stand out in terms of what you've learned?
It is seriously one thing is for sure, Brandon, is that I did not get a formal training to become an entrepreneur. And but I always tell that, like, when my dad, for example, he tried several things in his life just to stay afloat. That was it. He was not making millions of dollars, but he tried one line of work, and then he was running some kind of a shop that ran for a few years. Then he saw that there's more competition, and there's less money coming in. Then he changed it. He started something else on the side, and then kept that going. And then he shut down the first one, and he focused on the second one. So even though it was a very minuscule level, I think that he was a big successful serial entrepreneur.
Yeah, I love
even
it.
though even though his maybe annual turnover may have been $1,000, but still
Wow.
he tried several things in his life, and I clearly remember that. Correct. So coming back to me and Speridian and my experience, I think that see, one big thing is that change is very constant, very much there. You like it or not, that is the only constant thing. Nothing else. See, change will keep on coming, keep coming. And if we don't adapt to those changes, then you will be run over it. For example, see, when we started it as a CRM company. But what the best thing we did was that we did not just focus on one technology, but we expanded to multiple different portfolios, good and bad. And I always tell that, look, see, what we did is not the right thing. It was
Right.
good for us at the time. It may not be good for many other people. See, I always tell that, see, look, go to whatever experiences you can get it from other people, but listen to it, and whatever is applicable to you, do that one only. Right? There are companies, who focus only on one thing, very successful. Some companies who have done only one thing, which failed miserably or struggling because they were doing only one thing. But see, what we did, what worked for us, is that we did few things. So when one thing may have been struggling, we were able to get the other one going. Then we were able to balance it. See, for example, see, we do public sector and commercial work today. So when economy is struggling, commercial business is slowing down. But that is when the government will have money pumped
Right.
into public sector because they have to keep the balance. So so we were able to balance it between those two. So that helped us. And so few of those things, and
Yeah.
keeping up for the change. And COVID was a big change, correct? Who saw that one? Who saw that
Oof.
coming? Nobody in the world saw that it was coming. But except maybe George Carlin in his stand-up comedy videos, he saw a
Yeah.
little bit of coming. But,
Yeah.
um,
That's funny.
so so we were able to adapt it. We made a decision that we are going to stick together, and if we have to take a pay cut, we will do that. But fortunately, we didn't have to do any of those things, and we survived it. 2020 to 2021 was our biggest year. We grew
Oh,
more
wow.
than double the next year
Wow.
after COVID.
Damn.
We doubled, and we just kept going after that. So that was a
Yeah.
big pivot for us. So a lot of opportunities because of yes, the time was tough, but
Yeah.
um, it
Good things
presented us
come. Good thing.
opportunities. Yeah.
Yeah. Good things come. I love it. KP, two more quick questions. I
Sure.
very much appreciate all of your time. You've been very gracious. If you could go back and visit the KP in, call it, let's say the 5th grade, you had a chance to go back in time and you had a chance to talk to yourself in the 5th grade, and you only had a minute or so, what would you tell that version of yourself?
I really don't know. See, when I'm looking back, so those, it's about 50 years back. But I, I remember that, it was a good life. And I thank God and thank my parents and, all my friends for everything which I got in my life. And, see, who thought that, correct? See, a very regular, ordinary guy from India living, they just, struggling to even to make one time, living, the parents. And, see, today, when I look at it and, see, I was really fortunate and I was really lucky um, to be here. So my my fifth grade version, if I look at it, I think, it was good. It was a good journey
Yeah,
and it was a good life.
I love it. I
Um,
love it.
yeah.
Well, so and last question, for those in the audience listening, there may be a recent graduate, a recent software development, somebody that is early in their career as a software developer, and they feel the urge. They'd love to start their own business. They'd love to be an entrepreneur, or they just want to be successful. What do you tell? Maybe it's the same thing you tell your sons. What do you tell the software developer that's earlier in their career that wants to be successful?
See, doing business is not for everyone. Correct. It is not. Some people are not meant for that. Some people are born for that. They have that in their blood and gene and thought and everything. But
Yeah,
if you, my first request is that you should try out if you have any interest in doing that. That's one. But if you do it, you have to do it with full heart. Don't do a half mind job. So you just jump on it, give in your 150 percentage of your effort for that. And if you do that, then not always you will be successful or anything, but not always that whatever you do will be successful. But there is a very, very good possibility that you will be successful if you give in that much effort. But if you don't give in that much effort, it's a very highly likely chance that you won't be getting anywhere. So
yeah,
my only suggestion, and I always tell that, look, I don't want to give advice to anybody in my life, and I just give suggestions, and whatever they want to take it, they can take it, and so my only suggestion is that they just need to do it with with full heart, and then, hey, if it works, it works, and see, just always be ready to go either way, and so work You were way up there. A lot of opportunities in this world, and you just need to identify it, act quickly. Speed is very much because whatever I am thinking, I'm sure that 1 million people are thinking the same damn thing today.
Yeah.
So there is nothing like a unique idea anymore. So there is somebody thinking, and if you
Yeah.
don't get to market, if you don't do something on it soon, there is a very good probability that somebody else will beat you
Yeah.
to the market. So speed
I love
and
that.
and hard work and do it. Yeah.
I love it. I mean, KP, it's such a pleasure to speak with you, and your journey is just remarkable. And to have the sort of the humility and wisdom that you do is refreshing, appreciated. I know we just met, but I'm proud of you for everything. I mean, for coming from where you guys came from and doing everything that you've done. It's amazing. It's inspiring, I guess I should say. And I think that this is why I do this, really, is because I want to hear stories like this, and I think a lot of other people will also be inspired.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you very much. Really appreciate the opportunity
Absolutely.
and really helpful. Thank you.
Well, I tell you what, I'm gonna reach out and maybe we could schedule a call because I want to tell you about our existing my company, the company that I run, and what our software challenges are, and see if you have any. You guys might have a solution for us.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
All right, KP. Thank you so much. Have a great one.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Don't forget, everybody, you can find Boundary Breakers in a lot of places. You can watch our episodes on the Boundary Breakers YouTube channel, or you can listen to each podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or any of the other major podcasting platforms. Thanks for listening.